everybody. It's been a very long time since I've been on and sent out a video, and I will maybe do another video on the reasons of why I've kind of been away. But in the interim, I ended up creating this journal for our 250-year anniversary for America, and it was a perfect opportunity to use this Reader's Digest cover, which I really love, and obviously try to incorporate all of our colors from the flag. And yeah, so if you want to see this flip through, go ahead and stick around. All right, so one of the things I did is I really love this cover, so I actually did not want to cover it up. And so you'll see that this is actually a removable cover. And so for me, that was very exciting because if one decides, you can just have a simple notebook and put it up on your bookshelf, and no one would be the wiser that this is a different book than unless you put this cover back on. That's why I really loved the removable cover part here. And you'll see here that this is a doily that's been attached here. It's got this, and I've been using that for the closure, and it is not glued entirely up here, so you can stick in some things up here. This is a genuine vintage ticket to a toy store, it looks like, and then this one is one that I created. And yeah, so you can put anything in here, up here maybe, that you just want to kind of highlight and stick out from the cover itself. And we'll get into the notebook. And then I did put this on a nice cardboard, and here you'll see that it's got the America here, USA, and then I have some leftover wallpaper border, and I ended up putting that on the bottom of this. And yeah, so very, very sturdy. And again, if you want to, you can go ahead and take this, and it will, you can tie it. It is a little bit gator mouth here, as you can see, but if you take this and tie it up, it'll be fine. Again, I have a lot of stuff that is paper clipped in here and tags and stuff, so if you do end up wanting to take that out, it's easy to do that as well. All right, let's take a look at this. So I did end up just putting in this little label here in case you did want to maybe dot in the year that you use this, or put notes, or whatever you want to use this for. And so I did leave that there. All right, so let's go in here. So the awesome thing about this is that I got a bunch of wallpaper books, and I had one that had these iconic American images, and so I was able to go through them and actually make them the covers of the signatures. And so if you look in here, you'll see that there are 3 signatures in here, and each signature is covered by one of the wallpaper borders samples that was in the book. And so I'll show you the first one. Here you'll see that this is one of the wallpaper covers, and the wallpaper cover here, this is the other wallpaper cover, and the back of that one I ended up making a pocket. And then this is the last wall book paper cover for the signature, and this was also one of the wallpaper books, so I'll show you this all throughout the flip through. All right, let's get started. So I probably need a tag of some sort to show you all of this, so I may just pull one out from here. So in here I have the wallpaper, and I ended up using this clear tape that I have and made a upper tuck here. And then I do have, if you want to put your name on here, again, you can put your year you started it, and it is a pocket if you'd like to slip something in there. I didn't want too heavy of a pocket because I still, even though there is some green throughout here, I do love this just simplicity and clean look of this page. So feel free to, whoever gets this, to modify this page as you wish. And so here is the wallpaper. Again, this is the red paper, and I added in lace with some rickrack here. So love that. And then on the other side, I folded the paper up here, and I have some writing spots here. This is from a 1970s flower garden book, and I love this book because a lot of the images, the way the photograph is during that time, they actually looks like graphics, and you'll see some of that throughout this book. And this is another wallpaper book, and you'll see some holes in a few of these wallpaper books because I did take a very long time, probably got some nails in my fingers at some point, but to take out all of the screws in the book, because if I didn't take out the screws, we would have lost about this much of the paper. And so for me, I wanted to be able to get as much of the paper and the design as I could. And, you know, you'll see that even some of these, like I could wrinkle it and end up folding it into a pseudo ribbon. So yeah, again, could add ribbon here, can just use this as a writing spot, can embellish this on the top and cover these holes, but again, I'm just leaving that up for discretion. I liked having the additional image regardless of having the holes there. So yes, I put, you can tuck things in this way, or you can use the pocket itself. And again, some of these tags won't be embellished, but again, writing spot there. Let me probably get a smaller card to test the little tuck areas. And this is a large 12 by 12 paper I just cut down, and the rest was also grid so that it could be additional writing areas. All right, and so this is a I think cupcake topper, and I had my nephew and other people around us graduating this year, so I was able to have extras, and I put this in here for obviously this significant year for us. And it made a little cluster here with some lace and some jewel dots. Okay, I have a whole box of these cards for things that you can go see in Washington, D.C. And then, so I added one of those in here. Love this set of cards that I have. And I coffee dyed this large envelope. So feel free to write here, design additional stuff. And you'll see that I have this game. I think it's some kind of Scrabble card game. But I have this, and you'll see the letters throughout. I think you can already guess what the 3 letters will entail in this book. But I included this in here. I got a bunch of books, a whole box of books that are from the 1960s that are, I think, golden books, kind of, they're set of encyclopedias, and so this is a cutout and a drawing from there. Just left it as is to use as you wish. Then obviously went through the dictionary and got some cute pages from my vintage dictionary that have significant words that I thought would be fun to include in here. Obviously, United States of America. Okay. And then in here, I kind of wanted to, I have another dictionary that has a lot of pictures in them. And I went through and cut out several of them that I thought would be useful for this. This is why this, I want to tuck things in so you could use it, but it looks like it's scratched a little bit, but it's okay. That's what this junk journal is for, so that you don't feel like you have to have a perfect writing area to journal in. But yeah, since we do celebrate the 4th of July with tons of fireworks, I thought that was a cool image to have in here. And again, it kind of feels like a cigarette card or one of those old vintage cards that you definitely could write in back here. A piece of paper for additional usage in here. Another coffee dyed loose leaf paper. And I had this coloring book that is about travel, and it had this picture. I think it was maybe 4 by 8, and I cut it up, and you'll see it in here. And this has all the states, a few of the states in the U.S. And in here is California and several other ones. So I wanted to, my husband is from there originally, and embellish that with a little button topper there. All right, so this is another, I added this ribbon here on 2 holes, and this is another one of the wallpapers, and I was able to put that in here. Actually, this is the wallpaper that belongs to this. So again, I wanted to save as much as possible, and this actually goes with here, but I did not cover the back of this one. And yeah, I made this into a writing spot. And so we can use that as you wish. I had a hard time. I didn't want to cut this because this guy's leg was in here. All right. Again, if you take out basically a lot of the stuff I paper clipped in and put into the pockets, this won't be so alligator mouth. But again, that's, I think we all kind of like putting stuff in our journals, especially if you're into junk journaling. That's the fun of it. Okay, and I have this here that I added in. Adventure awaits. Go and find it. And I added in this fabric that I have. Wonderful fabric. The colors work perfectly for this, and I have tons more of this fabric, so definitely have to figure out more ways to use this. And it is a pocket. Again, some more of that 12 by 12 paper that I cut down into smaller cards to write on. And then this is an image from a magazine, which I added some writing spot in the back. And I loved the colors because it was definitely a setting for July holiday. I love this napkin if I can find one. Okay. And you'll see a few of these flags throughout the book as well. And here I just made this with 2 different types of scrapbook papers, and I embellished it on top of, glued it on top of a book page so that it mimics a flag. And I love this idea because, again, it was fun because it was artsy and fun to do, but also it creates a writing spot. Okay. Oh, and this is actually a sugar cookie. This is a recipe book for the 4th of July as well. And it was nice and blue, very clean. You could write on here, but I also covered the back so you could write on the back as well. And they're coffee dyed grid paper. And then in here I have this card. I love to add, I have tons of cards, and I love to add them to my books in case you want to use them as a card, or if you just want to journal on them. So I definitely love to add these into the books. And so this page, you'll see that this is from an encyclopedia, and I kept it as one piece in case anybody wanted to use the images or just read on this. But this is about the birth of a great nation. You'll see George Washington. You'll see this painting about the Declaration of Independence. And yeah, some other items in here. This might be fun to cut out and make into a little button or paper clip, but I just wanted to include that. I think the other side, there's a little gem there. So yeah, I just wanted to include that in here. Okay, how did I do that? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to just put it in like this. And you'll see this paper clip, I actually curled it. So it does not harm the image itself. Okay, some more coffee dye paper. And this is, if you can see it, it's a little birdie that's, you just take a long strip and you kind of fold it origami-like, and then ends up looking like a little bird. I'm gonna add a little red paper here so that it could be a tuck spot here. And I have these cards. I forgot what these are called. Pocket Life? I can't remember. Project Life cards. And I have a bunch of these. And yeah, so thought I'd put that in there. The other side of that dictionary page. Again, another image from the encyclopedia. 1960s encyclopedias that I got. And you'll see a couple of this card that I made as well throughout the book. So I ended up just quickly painting this with some white acrylic. Added this fun 3D, it's not a sticker, it's like a spool of ribbon like this, of this material, this plastic thing. Used for crafting, and yeah, it's on a red cardstock paper, and you can journal on that as well. And so this card, I did end up embellishing it with this. Again, you can tuck it into here, anything you'd like. And this is again from that flower book I mentioned earlier from the 70s, where the photographs of the flowers actually look like images here. And so here I wanted to put this one in here because it comes in white and rosy shades as well as more common blue ones. So, and it said Uncle Sam might well wear this combination. So had to include that when I read that. And I have a stack of these. Yes, I'm actually reading this. So if you are reading something, this could be something fun to use as you're reading through it. And then I had a packaging that had this topper in here for tattoos, which I have right here. So it's backwards. And I wanted to reuse it because the colors were awesome, and added the fabric here. And then in this, you'll see that I was able to cut out the Declaration of Independence and the definition around that and place that in here. Then I have, this is from like a quilt book, and I love just the simplicity of this page. And so you can use that in the book. And then this one again is from that gardening book. And when the colors don't go through, I just love the actual birds and flowers in there. So I just added it in. All right, so now I am going to show you this card. This is the same encyclopedia pages that have those graphics in here, and this was explaining about Uncle Sam. So if you don't know the story of Uncle Sam, it'll tell you right here what happened. So feel free to take a look at that. And I backed it up onto a folder, manila folder, and in here is a secret writing space, which you can write some things in here you don't want everybody reading. And again, it's not as secret because even though it's a straight line, it needs to be like really busy, you know, for you not to see the line. That was where the book ended here, and then this was on the next page, so I had to do what I could. But yeah, I love that. Then some lace here, and this is the back of the first signature again. So in here, like I mentioned, you will see some of the holes in the paper, and again, that's because I had to take the staple out, otherwise we would lose like a majority of this image. And to me, that was worth the sacrifice. And again, you won't see it so much on here because I put the lace here, but on this side, it's less noticeable. All right, now we'll go into the second signature. But before that, here I made a little bookmark out of ribbon. So if you are anywhere in the book, you can go ahead and use this as the ribbon. Oh, and I forgot to mention that in this here as well, in this middle signature here, I did keep the ribbon long. You can glue some paper embellishments on here if you'd like, or add obviously jewelry or whatever on the bottom here. And so I left it long, but it's up to whoever wants to keep this, if they want to cut it or if they want to add in anything else. All right, now we are going to continue on to our second signature. I have to take a step away for a real quick second. All right, we'll go through I think the rest of the book a little bit faster. Okay, so this is the other wallpaper page. And in here I have a little tag in here. And I have this ribbon just right here as well. And I put it onto manila folder so that if you wanted to, you could glue it onto and make a pocket, or you can just use it maybe as a bookmark. You can make it into a bookmark. I wanted to just kind of make it a little bit flexible. Then again, this is another page from the quilt book, and I loved the blue on here. And I love the fact that it had just a kind of no words on here, just another design. So this can, obviously you can add a page here, or you can just art journal in there. And then I have these plastic waterproof cards. And again, 2026. So I put these two cards in here, and then I have a little faux Declaration of Independence here, and a manila card. Then I have the strip of jean fabric here, and I sewed it and then glued it onto here. And then another pocket of the red paper, from like kind of like a newspaper print paper. Some paper I designed. Found a little folder, more of that ribbon. And this one I took the wire out of the edges here. This is a Vera Wang napkin, so you can use it as you please. I left it in its 3-ply so that it can be used however the user wants. Added in a little lace up here. Some more of that blue cardstock, and again here on this side of the dictionary, another page, it says Independence Day, U.S. holiday. All right, so this one is from an American artist book that I have, and I clipped in here, and it's beautiful artwork by James Audubon. Audubon. You can see here. This is one of its large prints, and I was actually in, where was I? At a museum, and I saw his entire gargantuan book of his plates, and it was really awesome. I mean, it was really, really big. So this is a very small version of that book. Yeah, if you want to read up about him, how he's kind of lost in the beginning, and his initial girlfriend or wife kind of was by his side for a while. So yeah, I just kept this in here, and you can use it or read it, and when you open it up, you can see his artwork. So here again is another page that came out of the dictionary that has some images about the bald eagle. It's native to North America, and it's the national emblem of the United States. Okay, so this is something I took out of I think it was some kind of a tutorial to use for paper crafting, and it says celebrate, so I put that in here, and I cut this. This was something I created a while ago, so the color doesn't exactly go with the blue, but I still like the word celebrate. I added this little tag here so it sticks out. Again, this is another one of those clear tapes that have the flowers on it onto red paper, and you can just, if you want, you can glue it onto here and make it a little tuck spot if you'd like, or maybe create some kind of embellishment on top. I just want to leave it for the person to create. So again, where I had that star in the previous signature, this is actually another one of those July 4th cookies. It's the Liberty Bell. And again, this has the manila folder in the back here. And here's another one of my crafted papers, flags that has embellishment. Add a little bit more here, and this one is, the design is a little bit different. And I add paper to the back of this, so that, again, can be a writing spot. Okay, more of the paper, and then here I glued this. It was a top to, I think, a box. And in here, I have this photo porch with the American flag. I love that. And on the other side here, I also have this, which is the other side of this wallpaper book. Paper from the wallpaper book. And so I did love this image. It's got the little American flag, a little bit neighborhood from the old times. And again, you'll see that, again, it's got the holes in here where I ripped out painstakingly all the staples with lots of tools. And again, I like the option of just having anything you want to put in here and as a window. And again, you can use this wallpaper however you feel like. There's writing spot in here. Again, kept the tassel here, closure long, so if you do want to add in anything, you can. Here is another one of my flags with different scrapbook papers on top of a piece of paper, book page. A tiny, tiny one here that I made. And some just cardstock, and I put doily here, paper doily, and on top of it, it's like it's on top of a little page here, book page here, so it feels a little bit more sturdy. And again, here is that cupcake topper that you saw earlier, and I kept this one on the toothpick. And here's another one of those coning pages that I had cut up into multiple pages, and I guess it would be this way or maybe this way. Not quite sure. And this the back. Here is the same tuck spot, and I have this nice paper to write on or use throughout the journal. More of my coffee dyed paper. See that this imprinted from the page I dried on top of that. A dictionary page, some scrapbook paper, and so now you'll see this set of a couple eagle cards that I have that I was able to thrift. And in here, you can either use it to journal on or obviously use it. And here is the matching envelope. So yeah, it's got both in case you want to actually use this as a card. Okay, so in here I'm another red folder, a tuck spot here for this Thomas Kincaid. He's probably a very famous artist in his time, maybe 80s, I'm not sure, 90s, early 90s. And then this is the envelope that came with it. It's a very nice thick envelope, and I had stamped on here this stamp that I was able to thrift just to make it a little more interesting. And again, this is the 1970s flower and garden book. Again, these just look almost like paintings or illustrations, even though I think these are photos from back then. So, and I just left a little number there, just in case you want to write something in there. And the paper, and then here's the other fold to this wallpaper, and I again covered it up with some washi tape here. Again, those bigger holes that you'll see on the white just seems easier to see on the white. This one was a fun activity only because I have the encyclopedia with a North America map, and it was the entire page here, maybe about 8 inches tall, 6 inches wide. And on that coloring book that I was talking about also had something very similar to this image. And so I basically cut them so that I could mimic this coloring as if it was part of this. So this is completely two separate books. This is a 1960s book, and this is probably something I was able to get in, you know, the last like 5 years. And yeah, so it's cool that you can actually color it if you want. It was cool to me to be able to match those two together and make a little card. And that's the back of the second signature. And this was a tuck spot. You can hang something in here. This was from the sugar cookie book, and this was the title that it had on top of there. So I just put it on here and added this little scrapbook paper, and you have this additional writing papers in here. It's a little bit, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit gray. It's got a little bit of coloring in there. And this is the third signature. The third signature has this heart here, and see the coloring. It's getting yellow here. We have the red paper with the jean ribbon here that I sewed, and in here is some faux money. This was my kids' money that I saved. I think it was in my donation pile, but this is, luckily I didn't donate it yet before I started junk journaling, so I actually now have kept them. But it's cool. I'm gonna make American money here. And again, another sugar cookie. And then here's the other Scrabble card game. The second letter is S. And here is my daughter, 6th grade. She did a 6th grade play, and I had a bunch of my friends with their kids come, and she was gifted so many flowers, and one of them was a hydrangea. So I put it in here, and this is a clear acetate, but on the back I just used packaging tape to glue it on there. So I like this side, it comes out very flat and clear. And used a punch to just punch it out, put on just a random number I found, and this little tag. And I just put a piece of paper. I don't want to put anything too thick in here since it is going to be used kind of in the book. So there is that. I did have a blue hydrangea, but once I actually dried it, it did not look blue, so I still need to figure out that technique. This is from a garden book, and I just put it on top of blue paper and glued it from the other side so you can write here, as well as obviously right on the top here. This was glued again, like I said, and you can use this as a tuck spot. So some more of that paper to write on if you want. So on this side of the dictionary page, you'll see that this was an election map of 1904. Again, so this is from a book, encyclopedia type of book from the early 1900s. Okay, then I have this little cluster area that I made here as a tuck spot, and using an old book I made another little envelope, and this is from the same magazine that I'd used in the first signature. I had the blues, I love that, and I have added the jean up here with a little button, and it's got a writing spot in the back, and then a little tuck area that it fits into. So I mean, you can leave this here, or you can glue this on another page, or however you feel, or you can use this both independently. So another coffee dye page, and then in here is the sugar cookie, the back of the sugar cookie page, and it had these lines here, so I just kept it intact. This is a magazine, and I folded the page in so that it came like a little envelope. And so you can tuck something in here as well as tuck something in here, which is what I did. So here's some writing paper from a pad I found that has quotes on the bottom. Remember that everyone you meet is afraid of something, loves something, and has lost something. So every page has a different quote on it. So I just ended up putting here. And this page 3 of that paper pack that I have. So I just put that in here, and then this is the other tag, and in here you'll see Virginia, so I didn't want to cut that out to make sure that that was still intact, and I just put that in as a side tuck spot here, and then paper clipped it in. So again, you can use this however you want. Maybe if you want to use it in a different area. Tuck this in a little bit more so it doesn't stick out so much. There we go. And the other side is from that flower book. Again, if you look closely at it, it looks like a illustration. I see so many different words. Graphic, image. Well, it looks like illustration is what I'm saying. There. So here's the other eagle card that I have. Yeah, it's got a lightened version of that image on the inside of the card, so you can write in here. And this card is from 2002, so definitely vintage. And here is the envelope of that card. Again, very detailed. Here's another coffee dye paper, and I put this ribbon on the top here. The other side of that encyclopedia page. And here this was the cover to, I think I forgot the magazine, Country Home or something magazine, and I loved this flower. It has nothing to do with this book, but I just love flowers, so you're gonna see flowers probably in every journal I make. And it had a little blue, so it worked. And I was able to just add it in here so that it could be a text spot. So one of the things I do is right here, because it can become very fragile because it's, you know, it's got just little piece of paper here. So I actually will back it up with some additional cardstock, or I think this manila folder here, just in case you end up using it a lot, and I don't want it to have that ability to rip. This is a page from a magazine, which I did not want to cut because it had so many awesome images, and I thought that whoever takes this magazine could use any of these the way that they would like. And then on the other side, it's even got another cute image. This would be great for spring or Easter. Just wanted to leave that totally intact. Okay. Then here's the final letter, A. So yes, you have all 3 of these Scrabble game cards, USA. And I had this valet claim check, just red. Just added it in to contrast with this blue. This was the rest of that scrap paper. I just glued it together. I didn't put it on a book page. Just use the entire sheet as itself, and it can be a writing spot. And here is that last page of the signature. And again, you'll see a little bit of the holes here, but I put washi tape on this side. And the best thing is this was a pretty big page right here. And I just cut it off where this eagle and I guess faux fabric here was, so that I could make a pocket in the back of this book. And just put a Project Life card again in here. And yeah, so you can store things back here, but I thought this was a perfect. I was almost contemplating putting this in the front of the book, but I just thought having it in the back of the book was a nice kind of, oh, okay, this is an actual patriotic journal. And so yeah, the back is plain. Look at how nice this cover is. And yeah, so this journal, one last thing is this paper is actually the same as this on the cover. This was on the this shows you kind of like the entire border would look like if you were to get the whole thing. Obviously this is just a sample, so it's kind of showing you the entire thing. But yeah, I was able to take that little, I guess, sample one that I had in the back and use that on here as well. All right, so that is the entire journal, and there is going to be lots of other stuff that comes with it. Let's go ahead and bring that over. So I will definitely be sharing some of this additional ribbon. I know there was already a little bit in there, but I'll be giving a little bit more in the pack here. I have these star stickers that can be added into the journal. I'll have some tape, some ribbon in here. It probably won't be on this because it'll just add some weight to that, but I'll put some of that in there. I have some of these other designs that I made digitally, and this is clear sticker sheet, so it can definitely be used throughout the journal. As I said, it's clear, so this would be fun to use in the journal as well. Then I have this thesaurus, I think it was a thesaurus page here, and on this it says freedom. So I thought this would be a fun page to include as well. Then I have some song sheets that came from a hymn, an old hymn. I think it's from the 40s. And it has America the Beautiful, the Star Spangled Banner. And I could not get myself to cut this up or even fold it, so maybe whoever gets this can do it. My Country, 'Tis of Thee. So yeah, those will be in there as well. And then this is again from the book with the American Artist, and this is the same image that I shared earlier with the encyclopedia page, but it was a smaller version. But this is a bigger version of the same thing, and I put it on a piece of cardboard, but it's too big to put into the notebook, so I did not want to include that, but I want to go ahead and share that as well. And then I have 3 books that I want to give with this package. So, well, not 3 books. This is not a book. This is a section in one of the encyclopedias, and it's all about the presidents of the United States up into the 60s with Kennedy here. And it's got all the details, and then it's got lots of cool images here. Pictures of the White House. As you'll see from here, you can see the variations of the White House till now. But yes, this is from 1818. This is the first White House here. Yeah, I thought I was going to cut these out and make them into little cards, but I just thought this whole section was cool, so I did not want to separate this. Then we have George Washington. And then we have several pages on his life, so I thought that could even be a part of the book that I could cut out. Like this could have been a bookmark, but I just wanted to keep it because I thought it was a fun read. So lots of good images, lots of writing in here. Again, lots and lots of pages on Washington. And this page is cool. It's actually gold on here, and I love that all these illustrations. So again, I was thinking about cutting this up, but I just thought I wanted to keep this page intact for someone else to use. Again, some more images, paintings, some quotations from some of his addresses and speeches that he did. Then portraits of his family. So I just tied it with some ribbon just to keep it together. I mean, it's already kind of glued together, but just additionally, just to keep it together, I put some yarn in there. Okay, so the other two books are this Story of Old Glory and this farm book, which this I thought I was thinking I can do another journal because I definitely want to do some more kind of farm journals, but this one definitely can be used as part of adding to the journal. Yeah, lots of great illustrations in here. Stuff to read. Different versions of the potential flag. The eventual flag here. Guy painting a war scene, black and white, but then just the flag, which is cool. The original Star Spangled Banner was made by Miss Mary Pickersgill of Baltimore at a cost of $405.90. That's actually probably a lot of money if we were to go back in time. Parts of the flag. And I'll post the flag in the outside of the house. And then kids pledging allegiance. So that's an awesome picture. I think I saw somebody else that had this. I must have had this book because I saw that photo somewhere. And then picture of the flag. Yeah, this was a great book. I was going to cut it up and put a lot of it in the book, but the book is just too full. And then this is the other book I thought would be fun to add into the book. This book is from, I didn't even say what the other book was from. Let's see. I'm always interested in knowing when these books were from. So 1970 copyright. Okay. And then this one is from, looks like 1979. All right. Look at the photos. They're so awesome. I mean, the illustrations. Why do I keep saying photos? The illustrations are so cool. I love the style, and the colors are so neutral. I feel like it would go with so many of the books. Any type of book style. Look at that. It's so awesome. Buying stuff at the market. Little girl with the cat. So cute. I love these panoramic village scenes. Look at that. Ooh, those are always the best. The night sky. It's like that. Capture that very well. Then there's snow right next to the fire. Now it's winter time. I love how they have captured that, just that one scene. Everything else is kind of dark. The artist was very creative on this. Staying home doing, oh, she's doing what we all want to probably learn. Some embroidery there. Another day out in the winter cold. Looks like they're about to collect some maple. Then in April, they're getting some wool. I love this with the trees. This makes me think of Happy trees, happy trees. All right, there you go. Last illustration. Yeah, so I just really like the illustrations in this, and I did want to do and maybe cut up some of this, but it was just too good for me to not do like a journal of its own, like dedicated to it or something else. But I just thought this was such a pretty book, and I want to include it in this with this journal. I just think that it'll go very well with adding to this or any other type of patriotic journal here. All right, well, that is all the stuff that will come with the book here, and there may be a little bit more as I kind of find things around the house that I want to add in here. I didn't necessarily collect any of this stuff for this journal, so it took me a while to just kind of hunt through my stuff to be able to add things to here. But now that I've had a blast kind of making this, I probably will start creating a folder to like start doing more kind of patriotic type journals in the future. So this may not be the last, but this is definitely my first one. So if anybody would like to get this one, it will be for sale. All right, until next time, have a crafty day. All right, bye.